Yeah, so, still stasis, still the same game, still the same shenanigans, and I couldn't be bothered to think of a better title. So, sue me. Um, okay, we go now this way.
This is ridiculous. How did it grow this world in a few months?
That is a good question. Do you want to know the answer to that?
Plants can't naturally develop this fast.
Hay developed the technology to accelerate plant growth. Oxygen is big business.
We have two computer terminals, and we have that thing. What we need here, though, is the metal plaque. Something interesting over here, I think. But I don't think we need to go there. Let's see. Okay, we can skip ahead and do this. Now let's look at these. More logs and emails. Let's do this. Finally, we have more room for the lint. Yeah, that strain, which I've been working on so hard. It's states like this that humanity truly proves why it crawled out of the ocean before any other. That's not really true, by the way. There are some, conflicting ideas on what exactly crawled out of the ocean first, but yeah, there's a good probability it was a four-legged, four-limbed at least, amphibian something with many teeth. My section has been expanded. I have more staff, true, but they are drones and have little other function. Now we can expand the research potential of Project Kitchen Knife and see what else the plants can yield. The oxygen production rate is quite unlike anything my initial projections could have predicted. Last year it became the worst kept secret on the Groom Lake, and all of a sudden I had more interns than I could comfortably employ. Their only function is to stumble about the place and ask troublesome questions that I have little time to answer. If only our world was more like that of insects. I have plenty of workers and drones, but none of the unwavering loyalty. Bees work and work, the faith in their queen unquestioning and constant. That kind of loyalty is beyond price. These interns of mine have their uses, I suppose. We always need volunteers willing to get close to the queen. Nice. Nice, Dr. Gray. Am I surrounded by incompetence? One of those imbecilic interns got too close to the queen and she showed him her affection. Quite amusing, though not to him. This means that I must attend another accident debriefing with the board, though. Dr. Milan does love to test me. I see him up on the hearing bench and he grins at me with that supercilious look that he has perfected over the years. I suppose that I have him to thank for my current position. It was his recommendation to the board that made them hire me in the first place. Still, I believe he has come to enjoy these little power plays. He does so like to keep me under his heel. That, my dear doctor, is only a temporary situation. Once this project is complete, the chess games that we play so often will no longer be our only battleground. Actually, just for future reference, keep in mind that Gray and Milan played chess. I think when we find Dr. Milan's logs, he will mention this. And as I recall, be quite disparaging actually. But that's a couple of episodes ahead, I think. Regarding the project, some of the bug eggs failed to hatch properly. I suspect this is why the queen was more aggressive than usual. There are more than enough drones to continue the collection work. Their unique chemical properties are doing wonders for the plants, although I'm running short of interns prepared to work in close proximity to them since the last incident. The worker I appreciate the most is Akiza. Was it Azika? Yeah. Well, Azika Tenshu. Anyway, I was astonished to discover that she is related to the legendary Dr. Tenshu of the Eugenics Wars. I did consider mentioning it to her, but I sense she is oddly ashamed to have him as her ancestor. If it wasn't for men like him, our profession would be a hollow shell of what it is now. Then again, if it wasn't for him, genetic research wouldn't have been put back by several generations, now would it? The ethical quandaries we face as men of science. The insects are restless. They rumble in their apiaries and are more aggressive than usual. My personal deduction is that the presence of the marine thugs aboard the ship are the cause, on guards all over the place. I was stopped by one the other day and asked my reasons for going into hydroponics. Well, after explaining I was head of the damn project, I had the guard removed from his post and then the ship. This is insanity. How am I expected to progress with these thugs around? I recall complaining about the inundation of interns. If only they were still here now. Both Ivan and Theodore disappeared from their rooms last night, and I've had to speak to security about their whereabouts. They were Azika's or Akiza's assistants, and now the production of the Queen's Royal Jelly has slowed exponentially. That's been a huge blow, but a rather extraordinary anomaly has appeared in our growth pods, a hitherto undiscovered strain of fungus. Its origin is something of a mystery to me. So this would appear to be the fungus we have read about before, that got into the food supply and did unpleasant things to the crew. These fungal growths fascinate me. At first I thought it was a common garden variety mold, but after a substantial analysis performed by Akiza, I guess it's Akiza, it seems to harbor neuron activity. That is to say, it seems to exhibit rudimentary signs of intelligence. Well, I mean, I guess that is technically possible, but that would mean the mold is not a slightly unicellular thing. It needs to have a tissue structure, or else it would have just naked neurons, and not a good thing. You don't want that. We've certainly created some unusual species on this deck, but the idea of a quasi-intelligent fungus growing and evolving of its own volition is exciting and frankly frightening. Good that you realize, Mr. Man. I've asked Akiza and the remnants of her team to cultivate it, but exhibit caution in where it is spread. I was asked by one of Dr. Milan's assistants if the fungal substances covered growing in the bowels of the ship had anything to do with us. I lied, of course, but this is becoming alarming. Our experiments flourished at first. We may have lost more staff recently, but our experiments have been very fruitful indeed. Confidentially, the properties of the fungus is both extraordinary and terrifying. It has the remarkable ability to take control of a living subject's central nervous system and the hypothalamus, as observed in the monkey we used for testing. The monkey shrieked and thrashed in rage for the first few days after it was exposed, and then it became quiet, observant, and uncannily intelligent. It's certainly aggressive, but then again, which viruses aren't? I'm not sure if this is a slip-up or if this is intentional, because the virus they're talking about here is a fungal growth. And a fungus is not a virus. So until I have more information, I'm going to chalk this up as a slip-up. A very embarrassing one, if you were a sciencey type. No, no, no! We've officially lost control of the deck. Eden now truly belongs to the beasts. We've seen strange things. I watched as the fungus took control of the deck as it spread through the staff, and much to my shame, I watched their deaths and examined their bodies. Nobody can cross the pods because the bugs are so aggressive that when Solomon went through in a rad suit, they ripped it from his body and stung him to death. It took mere moments. Still, I live in the hope that the insects will remember me, their creator, and perhaps see me as one of their own. Yeah, probably not. Dr. Gray, I do not wish to seem unprofessional or impolite, but I would ask that you not press me on the subject of my ancestry any further. I was nearly refused entry to medical school on the basis of my family's background, and the torment I suffered at the hands of my school peers regarding my great-great-uncle was unbearable. I am fully aware of his actions, and I have seen countless photographs and documents of the consequences of his work. I took this position to change our world for the better, not to be reminded of the skeletons in my family's closet. I've enjoyed our working relationship thus far, Dr. Gray, but I prefer my family history no longer be a topic of our conversations. Thank you for understanding. Akiza. Dr. Gray, I enjoyed our meal yesterday. It was refreshing to hear a man so outspoken on this ship. I appreciate your candor, and I do agree that perhaps it's time the board was shaken up a little. Although this is merely an observation rather than an action plan, I think the top leadership needs some new blood. I'd second you if you decided to take on the challenge yourself. Your impeccable scientific pedigree more than qualifies you. By the way, did you know where they were keeping that new cargo? It seems rather like a waste of resources if they won't even tell us where it is. Okay. Do we go over here now? I think so. Yada, blah blah. Not really important. Never mind. Can we leave, please? Oh, okay. We should do a thing or two before we engage in that shenanigans. See this cracked glass here? Slap a Sappy metal plaque on it, and all good. Now we need to vaporize the queen's milk, because reasons. Also, it helps, I don't know, tranquilize the bugs or something. So check this out. Okay, let's see. There we go. We are ready to carry on. And I need some tea. And this is a good opportunity to save the game, by the way. Just saying. Well, yeah. Now that I've saved the game, I might as well show you what happens. Insect swarm, let's go. They be aggressive, yo. Alright, let's see where the game drops us off. Yeah. Okay. We have pheromones. There.
This isn't going to work.
Guess not. Just
I don't think that'll work.
out of curiosity, can we kill ourselves with this?
Try to
Nope,
make it so
we
that
can't.
it works.
That's good. There. Bugs crushed. Yeah, good. Can I have the drone back? Yes, I can. So, Yeah. What is the thing about oxygen again, people? Um, First of all, it is highly reactive. Second of all, it is highly reactive. Third of all, it it's very flammable. Um, we'll get to that in a minute, though. Let's see, that's Chris Rogers. Okay, I thought it would be someone else, but that's sad for him, I guess. So, more oxygen. And now we can have even more oxygen. Let's see, where do we go? Oh, yeah. Okay. Take a deep breath. That's Charles Young, and that is Jim Taylor. Okay.
It's beautiful.
The oxygen gardens make
I saw you walking over there.
free, full, natural.
Huh. The walking lady just vanished. I don't know what to think of that. So, emergency flare. Remember what I said about oxygen and fire? Yeah. Brace yourselves, people, because we are going to see stuff. Oh, whoa. Frank Flurry. Do we just move on through here? Oh, yeah, we do. So, here's where it gets a little unpleasant. We have a PDA. Let's look at that first, because we are not going to be coming back here. And yeah, our good Mr. John just saw this. She is technically still alive, still human enough to be conversed with, but we have a PDA to look at first, as I said. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and great in loving kindness. The Lord is good to all. I simply wish his kindness had extended to Chelsea. The galley chef told me that a few of the other crew members are uncomfortable with having an ARG patient on staff. I asked if her work was in any way below standard, at which point he grew uncomfortable and admitted exactly as I thought. Nope, she was a super worker. But his team were uncomfortable with her anyway. Being a geneticist and a Christian may appear contradictory to most, but that is their burden, not mine. I believe in grace and mercy. It wasn't Chelsea's fault she was born an ARG baby. James, my ex-husband, blamed me. James wanted her terminated, and when I refused, he packed up and left. That suits me. I'd rather be without an unloving husband and father than without my beautiful child. And she is beautiful, a gift from God. And for a ship full of the most supposedly forward-thinking people in the galaxy, the aversion to her condition repulses me. Tolerance and patience are virtues greatly praised by the Lord. Evangelicals over in USA way pay attention. But aboard the Groom Lake, I find my stores of both these virtues sorely tested. I discovered through one of my subordinates that a new shipment arrived on board a few days ago, destined for Project Seed. My disapproval of the dangers of seed are no secret. Considering the size of the shipment and the clear attempt to cut me out of the loop regarding the delivery, I suspect some of my colleagues are trying to mask the precise nature of what it is that has arrived. If it is as I suspect, there will be no, and I mean no, lengths I will not go to in order to depose Dr. Milan. Kane Corporation is a company for the promotion of the sciences, not for the sinister schemes and unprincipled ambitions of individuals. I have moral issues with Kane and their weapons research. It tests my faith, but Kane's medical breakthroughs have changed the world, and my world too. It's because of Kane-created research that Chelsea is even alive. This is why I do what I do. I work in genetics to find cures for my dearest Chelsea, and in others like her, not for money. It's my job to put things right for her. I had lunch with Dr. Gray this afternoon. Oh, this was referenced in another email. Oh, neat. He is an odious little man and utterly misanthropic. But if you need somebody to talk about Project Seed, talk to me, then there are few people who give up information more easily. His ego easily outweighs his sense of confidentiality. Project leaders and project members are not allowed to discuss details of individual projects, but he can't resist himself. Another Donald Trump. Nevertheless, he revealed disturbing details. I'm aware of our sample origins. We need human genetic material in order to develop cures for human beings. It's a hard truth. But there's paperwork, permission forms, and contracts that create the supply. That shipment has none of those things. They're children. Oh God, in all your great mercy, how could you let Milan, that unholy monster, do this? It's taken months, and finally I found a young cargo worker named Danica Boxer. Ah, we've heard about her before. She was referred to me by Dr. Tenshu, such a sweet girl. It seems the cargo was a combination of adults and children, all of whom were acquired through illegal channels for using genetic research. I did not agree to this. I'll leave this place and take Chelsea with me before I spend 1 minute more working for a company that endorses the use of children in research. There are not enough words to describe the soulless creatures that did this. Revenge? I don't believe in revenge. Beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Who is so full of love and all that? Oh. Jesus, that was close. I forgot to connect the power to my laptop, and I was mere minutes from running out. Oops. Oh, good now, though. All fixed. Where is she? The creatures are attacking in full force. The screams are over the radio. They're dying. They're all dying. I hear them scuttle through the vents, see the blood they spill and spray over the walls. Chelsea, Chelsea, oh God, please bring her to me. I'm trapped in hydroponics. Please let my little girl find me. Voice note. Okay, it's just a header, I guess. I can see Chelsea inches from me, lifeless. I contemplated taking my own life as she died just before my eyes. When those creatures attacked, the crew sealed off parts of the ship, and I was left trapped in hydroponics. That fungus got to me, and now it's inside, profaning my body, its nerves wrapped around my cerebral cortex. I can feel it move. I try to move my arms, but it won't let me. It's making me watch the fungus consume my baby girl. I must watch and pray for the end to come. So then it does not depend on the man who wills or the man who runs, but on God who has mercy. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna read this because I need my throat for the rest, I think. Just gonna step through it. Read as best you can, or don't. You know. And going back and moving to the next one. Okay. Close the window. Cook. I was sure we'd see Chelsea here somewhere, but... Oh, maybe this is Chelsea. Well, whatever. Hello.
I could get you out. I could cut you free.
So, isn't that nice and disturbing? Now, grab a hold of something and keep hold of it while I just try to kill John
I don't know what I was thinking there.
briefly. No,
Maybe.
no killing John with the emergency flare. I suppose that's good to know.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you end this.
And here we go.
But you need to help me first. I don't need you to leave. I need you to crack this flare. The oxygen will ignite. Then you will die.
Yeah.
Extreme external temperatures detected. Plug suit has regulated body temperature to benchmark level.
The fire system just went haywire over here, John. What did you do?
I cleared the vines.
With a flamethrower?
Something like that.
Fire in Oxygen Gardens 1, 3, 5, 6, 9. Fire in Oxygen Gardens 2, 7, 8. Fire suppression system activated. Warning. Fire suppression system compromised. Warning.
Shit! Oxygen production has been compromised. Are the biomes still intact? Oh, God, say, burn them out.
Just the one on this level.
It's caused a chain reaction, John. They're all going up. We have a time limit now. Hours at most.
Get my daughter right now.
So, oops. This ship is no longer producing oxygen on its own. Haha. So, you know. Oops. Well, in the next episode we are going into the elevator once more. So, see you then. It'll be, interesting, I think. We'll see.